In the year 2492, humanity had stretched its reach into the cosmos, establishing colonies on distant planets and interacting with alien species from various sectors of the Milky Way. Among these endeavors was the Cerulean Project, a top-secret initiative aimed at understanding and integrating advanced alien species into human society. Dr. Elliot Reed, a brilliant but unconventional exobiologist, was at the forefront of this project. His mission: to awaken and integrate a group of 30 alien women from a species known as the Lissari, who had been in cryostasis for centuries. Their ship was discovered adrift near the edge of the Andromeda Galaxy, its origins and purposes shrouded in mystery. The Lissari were known for their ethereal beauty, characterized by their luminescent skin that shimmered with hues of blue and silver, and eyes that held the depth of the universe. Their culture and biological attributes were a riddle wrapped in an enigma, primarily due to their advanced psychic abilities and an inherent capacity for rapid adaptation. Elliot stood in the vast cryostasis chamber aboard the orbital research facility, Observatorio Prime, his gaze fixed on the 30 chambers housing the alien beings. His team of scientists and linguists were ready at their stations, monitoring every conceivable parameter. "Begin the awakening sequence," Elliot commanded, his voice echoing slightly in the cold, sterile room. One by one, the chambers hissed and steamed as they began to open, revealing their occupants. The Lissari awoke with a grace that belied their long slumber. As they stepped out of their chambers, the air filled with a soft, melodious hum, a byproduct of their psychic field interacting with the human technology around them. Elliot approached the first of the Lissari, who looked at him with curiosity. Her name, according to the ship's manifest, was Eliana. She stood slightly taller than him, her movements fluid and poised. "Welcome, Eliana. I'm Dr. Elliot Reed. You're safe here," he said, extending his hand in a gesture of peace. Eliana tilted her head, absorbing his words. "Elliot Reed," she repeated, her voice musical yet carrying an undercurrent of strength. "We understand. We are ready for what comes next." As the other Lissari gathered around Eliana, Elliot could feel the shift in the room. These women were not mere survivors. They were pioneers of their own fate, ready to explore this new world and perhaps redefine the boundaries of human understanding. "Let's begin with some basic assessments. We need to understand how well you've adapted to the current atmospheric conditions and any nutritional requirements you might have," Elliot explained. The Lissari nodded, their faces serene yet attentive. As the team conducted their initial health assessments, Elliot observed their interactions. Despite their long isolation, they seemed incredibly synchronized, responding to nonverbal cues and subtle shifts in each other's psychic fields. "What can you tell me about your journey? Why were you in stasis?" Elliot asked, hoping to unravel some of their history. Eliana looked at her companions, seeking a consensus before turning back to Elliot. "Our planet Lysar faced a cataclysm. We were sent to find allies, to preserve our culture and knowledge. Our mission is centuries old. We do not know if our world survives." The revelation added weight to their presence on the station. Elliot realized that this project was not just about integration, but potentially about preservation or even resurrection of a dying civilization. As the chapter closed, the Lissari were not just awake. They were ready to engage with their new reality, and Elliot knew that their journey together was just beginning. He was determined to help them find their place in this vast, interconnected universe. The possibilities were boundless, and so was their resolve. In the secure confines of Observatorio Prime, Elliot guided the Lissari through the integration protocol, designed to acclimatize them to human society and its myriad technological advancements. The facility was equipped with simulation rooms that mimicked various Earth environments, from bustling cityscapes to tranquil natural landscapes, offering the Lissari a glimpse into the world they were about to step into. Eliana and her companions moved through these simulations with an ease that surprised even the seasoned members of Elliot's team. They absorbed information rapidly, their psychic abilities allowing them to learn languages and customs at an astonishing rate. Elliot noted how they adapted their communication styles in response to different scenarios, their psychic hum subtly altering to reflect their emotions and understanding. One day, during a session in a simulated marketplace, Eliana paused by a digital kiosk displaying news from around the galaxy. She touched the screen, her brow furrowing as she digested the complexities of interstellar politics and trade. These conflicts, they are fueled by scarcity and fear, Eliana commented, her voice a blend of curiosity and sadness. Yes, Elliot agreed, joining her at the kiosk. Unfortunately, conflict is a common theme in human history, but there are also stories of great cooperation and peace. It is much like our own history, another Lysari named Kalis added. Before our cataclysm, Lysar was a planet of both discord and harmony. Their ability to draw parallels between human and Lysari history facilitated deeper discussions about societal structures and the potential roles they might play in this new world. Elliot arranged for experts in sociology and psychology to consult with the Lysari, helping them understand the societal norms and expectations they would encounter. Meanwhile, Elliot's colleague, Dr. Mara Lindbergh, focused on the biological integration of the Lysari. She was fascinated by their physiology, which allowed them to thrive in environments that would be harsh or even deadly to humans. Their cellular makeup was highly efficient, capable of photosynthetic processes, and their bodies could harness energy from ambient light. This is revolutionary, Mara mused as she reviewed the data with Elliot. Their biology could teach us how to better adapt to life in space. Elliot nodded, his mind racing with the implications of their findings. Their presence here could lead to advancements not just in space travel, but in how we approach life on Earth and other colonies. As the days progressed, the Lysari also began to show signs of psychic influence on the people around them. Their moods and thoughts seemed to resonate through the station, creating an atmosphere of calm and focus. However, this psychic influence also raised ethical questions. Elliot convened a meeting with the station's ethics committee to discuss the implications. We need to ensure that their abilities are not abused or used to manipulate, Elliot stated firmly in the meeting. We must treat their psychic talents with the same respect as any other personal attribute. The committee agreed, and guidelines were established to protect both the Lysari and the station's crew. As these guidelines were implemented, Elliot watched the Lysari continue to adapt, their confidence growing as the news of the Lysari's successful integration reached the Galactic Council, sparking interest and curiosity among the various member species. A summit was convened on neutral ground, a massive space station orbiting a peaceful garden world, Teeler Vive. Here, representatives from different civilizations gathered to discuss potential alliances, trade agreements, and the shared challenges of interstellar politics. Elliot accompanied Eliana and two other Lysari, Serena and Thal, as special delegates. The station was a hive of activity, with beings from across the galaxy mingling in halls filled with the murmur of 100 languages, both spoken and telepathic. Eliana, Serena, and Thal, adorned in garments that shimmered like their skin, moved with an aura of serene confidence. Their presence was a silent statement of their species' elegance and mystery, drawing many curious glances and tentative approaches from other delegates. In a grand hall under a dome of starlit glass, the summit officially began. Eliana was given the floor to speak about her people and their intentions. Her voice, amplified and translated instantaneously by the station's advanced systems, filled the hall with a melody that seemed to resonate at a frequency that touched the very soul. We come from Lysar, a world lost to time and catastrophe, Eliana began, her image projected above the crowd in a holographic display. We seek not just survival, but a place among the stars where we can share our knowledge and learn from the vast experiences of this council. Her speech was met with applause, but also with whispers of dissent from corners of the room where skepticism remained a barrier. Some feared the unknown capabilities of the Lysari, while others worried about the strategic advantage their psychic abilities could confer. Elliot watched the political theater unfold, aware that each word and gesture from the Lysari was under scrutiny. He had prepped them for this, how to address concerns without revealing vulnerabilities, how to negotiate without giving away too much. Throughout the summit, breakout sessions and private meetings flowed like currents in an ocean, each movement part of a larger tide. Elliot and the Lysarai navigated these waters with care. They engaged in discussions on technology sharing, humanitarian aid, and cultural exchanges. Their unique biology and psychic abilities were of particular interest, and many were eager to establish research partnerships. However, an unexpected challenge arose when a delegate from the Zephyr Confederacy raised a concern during a session on biotechnology. How do we ensure that the abilities of the Lysari do not disrupt our societal structures? Their psychic influence could be seen as a form of coercion or even invasion. Eliana responded with poise. Our abilities are part of us, as your technologies are part of you. We control them with the same responsibility you exercise in managing your machines. Let us work together to set boundaries and safeguards that protect all our peoples. This response, thoughtful and respectful, helped mitigate fears, turning the tide of opinion. By the summit's end, several preliminary agreements had been drafted, and the Lysari were invited to join a committee dedicated to psychic and biological ethics in the galaxy. As the delegates departed, the bonds formed during the summit were not just diplomatic but personal. Elliot saw the potential for these new alliances to foster a deeper understanding and cooperation across the stars. The Lysari had stepped onto the galactic stage, not only back at Observatorio Prime. The repercussions of the summit began to manifest. With the Lysari now recognized as emerging players on the galactic stage, their integration took on new layers of complexity and urgency. Elliot and his team worked tirelessly to support the Lysari in their new roles, providing them with the necessary training in diplomacy, galactic law, and interstellar ethics. Meanwhile, tension simmered beneath the surface of the newfound alliances. A covert faction within the Zephyr Confederacy, wary of the influence the Lysari could wield, began to mobilize against them. They feared the psychic capabilities of the Lysari might one day challenge their own power structures. Unbeknownst to Elliot, this faction initiated a secret surveillance program aimed at monitoring the activities of the Lysari on Observatorio Prime. Sophisticated espionage devices, disguised as common station equipment, were smuggled aboard during routine supply transfers. Elliot, busy with his responsibilities, remained unaware of the intrusion until Mara, while examining the biometric feedback systems, discovered anomalies in the data transmissions. Suspicious, she conducted a more thorough investigation and uncovered the hidden devices. "Look at this." Mara showed Elliot the tampered equipment in her lab. "These aren't part of our standard issue. Someone's been keeping tabs on us." Elliot frowned, examining the devices. "This could jeopardize everything we've worked for. We need to find out who's behind this and why." Together, they decided to keep the discovery confidential, concerned that any leak might stir panic or diplomatic fallout. Instead, they quietly enhanced their security protocols and began a discreet counter-investigation, utilizing both human and Lysari technology to trace the origin of the devices. The Lysari, for their part, sensed the shift in atmosphere. Their psychic sensitivity alerted them to the underlying tensions, though they lacked the details. Eliana approached Elliot with her concerns. "We feel ripples of discord," she said, her voice calm but troubled. "It is subtle, yet it disrupts the harmony we cherish." Elliot nodded, deciding to confide in her. "We've found evidence of surveillance. Someone's not just watching. They're gathering information on the Lysari." Eliana's eyes widened slightly. "We must address this carefully. Our response will set a precedent for how challenges to our presence are handled." Together, they strategized a response that emphasized openness and strength. Eliana proposed a public address to the station, subtly acknowledging the discovery of the devices without revealing specifics or casting blame. Her aim was to demonstrate the Lysari's commitment to transparency and cooperation. As they prepared for the address, Elliot contacted trusted allies within the Galactic Council to quietly seek their support and gather intelligence. His contacts confirmed his suspicions. The devices were traced back to the Zephyr Confederacy. The public address was a delicate balance of openness and diplomacy. Eliana, standing before the station's population, and a live feed watched by countless others across the galaxy, spoke of unity and the importance of trust. Our journey here has been one of mutual learning and respect. Let us not falter at the first sign of shadows. Instead, let us bring these shadows into light and discuss them openly, Eliana proclaimed, her voice resolute. Her speech was met with widespread support, and many within the Galactic Council praised the Lissari's maturity and wisdom. The faction within the Zephyr Confederacy, now exposed, found itself isolated and under scrutiny. Through careful maneuvering and the strength of their ideals, the Lissari and their human allies, following the resolution of the surveillance crisis, the focus at Observatorio Prime shifted towards deeper exploration of Lissari culture and the potential benefits of their advanced technologies. Elliot spearheaded an initiative to create a biocultural exchange program, facilitating the sharing of knowledge between humans and Lissari across multiple disciplines. As part of this initiative, a delegation from Earth, including scientists, artists, and philosophers, arrived at the station. Their mission was to engage with the Lissari in a series of workshops and collaborative projects aimed at fostering a deeper understanding and appreciation of each other's cultures. Eliana, along with other Lissari leaders, welcomed the delegation with a ceremony that was both mesmerizing and enlightening. They performed a traditional dance that illustrated the history of Lissar, depicting scenes of their planet's beauty, the devastation of their cataclysm, and their hopes for renewal among the stars. The dance was not just a performance, but a powerful psychic narrative, allowing the audience to experience Lissari emotions and memories directly. "This is our heart, our essence," Eliana explained as the dance concluded, leaving many in the audience visibly moved. "Through sharing our culture, we share ourselves." The workshops that followed were a melding of minds and skills. Human artists learned to incorporate the fluid, luminescent qualities of Lissari art into their own work, creating vibrant new forms that reflected the interstellar nature of their collaboration. Scientists from both species delved into the genetic and psychic intricacies of the Lissari, discovering potential applications for human medicine and psychology. One of the most significant breakthroughs came when a team of human and Lissari biologists and engineers began developing a new type of bioreactor. This device, inspired by Lissari physiology, was capable of converting light and simple organic compounds into energy, with applications ranging from clean power generation to life support systems in space travel. Elliot watched these developments with a sense of awe and pride. The exchange program was more successful than he had dared hope, leading to practical outcomes that could benefit countless lives across the galaxy. However, as the program expanded, so did the scrutiny it attracted. Representatives from various galactic powers visited the station to observe the integration process and the emerging technologies. While most were supportive, some harbored concerns about the rapid spread and adaptation of Lissari knowledge. During one tense meeting, a diplomat from the Draconis Federation expressed his reservations. "While we commend the progress here, we must be cautious. The proliferation of such advanced technology must be controlled to avoid destabilizing the delicate balance of power in our galaxy." Elliot understood the diplomat's concerns, but believed in the principles of open knowledge and mutual advancement that had guided their work so far. "We are committed to responsible stewardship of this technology," he assured the gathering. "The protocols we have in place are designed to ensure that these advancements benefit all, not just a few." As the meeting concluded, Eliana approached Elliot with a thoughtful expression. "The fears they express are not unfounded," she conceded. "But fear must not hold us back from progress. We must lead with wisdom and courage." Together, they planned a symposium on galactic technology sharing, inviting leaders and experts from across the galaxy to discuss frameworks for cooperation and control. The symposium aimed to set a precedent for how emerging technologies, especially though the Symposium on Galactic Technology Sharing was held on Teeler Five, the same station that hosted the initial summit. Delegates from every corner of the galaxy gathered, bringing with them their hopes, fears, and aspirations. Elliot, Eliana, and the Lissari delegation were at the heart of the event, symbolizing the potential for unity through diversity. The opening address was delivered by Eliana. Standing before the assembly, her presence was serene and commanding. "We are at the threshold of a new era," she began, her voice resonating through the hall. "An era where our differences become our strengths, and our shared knowledge propels us forward. The path we choose today will define the future for generations to come." Her words set the tone for the symposium, which featured panels on ethical technology use, cross-cultural exchanges, and cooperative governance. Elliot moderated a key session on the ethical implications of psychic abilities, exploring how they could be harnessed for the greater good without infringing on personal freedoms. Throughout the discussions, it became clear that the principles of transparency, mutual respect, and shared responsibility were crucial to building trust among the diverse civilizations. The delegates worked tirelessly, crafting a framework that balanced innovation with ethical stewardship, ensuring that technological advancements would benefit all without creating new forms of inequality or conflict. One evening, after a long day of negotiations, Elliot and Eliana walked through the station's arboretum, a tranquil space filled with exotic flora from numerous worlds. The bioluminescent plants cast a soft glow, creating an ethereal atmosphere. "We've come so far," Elliot remarked, gazing at the shimmering leaves, "but there's still so much work to do." Eliana nodded. "True progress is a continuous journey, one that requires vigilance and dedication. But look at what we've achieved already. We're setting a foundation for a brighter future." Their conversation was interrupted by a message from Mara, who had been overseeing a critical project back at Observatorio Prime. She had exciting news. The prototype bioreactor, developed through human and Lissari collaboration, had successfully completed its final tests. It was ready for deployment. The announcement added a wave of optimism to the symposium's final day. Delegates saw firsthand the tangible benefits of cooperation. The successful bioreactor symbolized the potential for shared knowledge to solve even the most challenging problems. As the symposium drew to a close, the delegates unanimously adopted the framework for ethical technology sharing, a set of guidelines that would govern the development and dissemination of advanced technologies. The document emphasized the importance of inclusive dialogue, rigorous oversight, and a commitment to the common good. Elliot and Eliana stood side by side as the framework was signed, their hearts filled with hope and determination. The journey had been arduous, but they had forged a path that could lead to lasting peace and prosperity. Returning to Observatorio Prime, Elliot felt a profound sense of accomplishment. The station had become a beacon of interstellar cooperation, a place where diverse species worked together towards common goals. The integration of the Lissari had not only preserved their culture, but enriched the entire galaxy. As the bioreactors were deployed across various colonies, providing clean energy and transforming lives, the legacy of the Lissari and their partnership with humanity became clear. They had proven that, despite the shadows of the past and the challenges of the present, a brighter future was possible when beings united in mutual respect and shared vision. In the end, the story of the Lissari and their integration into the galactic community was a testament to the power of collaboration, the importance of ethical stewardship, and the boundless potential of a united galaxy. With each step forward, they illuminated the path for others to follow, heralding a new dawn for all.